Hello there. I'm going to do my Beatles vinyl update. It's also with solo albums too. So we're going to start off with the 2010 Record Store Day issue of Paperback Writer and Rain on Parlophone. This is I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I saw her standing there on Capitol. Now, this sleeve is not the original one that came with it. This would have been on probably late 60s singles, but still it's a nice Capitol sleeve. Next is Help, and on the other B-side it's I'm Down. This here is Ticket to Ride, as you see, if it zooms in good enough, from the United Artists released, 8 Arms to Hold You. And yes, it is. I know all the writing's on the stuff, but it's in pretty good shape. These are all from old radio stations around the state here in Connecticut. This one is Yesterday. The B-side is Act Naturally. This one is Nowhere Man and What Goes On. I got all these about $3 a piece. Not bad little score here. This is Eleanor Rigby and Yellow Submarine. Right here is Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane. It may look all beat up, but this one's actually one of my favorites and sounds pretty good too. Next here is I'm the Walrus and Hello Goodbye. This right here is Please Mr. Postman and Roller of Beethoven. This is a Canadian release. Let's see if I can find it on here. I should say made in Canada. Manufactured in Canada. There you go. Put that aside there. Put it away later. On the Apple, it's Hey Jude and Revolution. Another Apple label. Get Back and Don't Let Me Down. This one is Something and Come Together. This is not a real picture sleeve because I know people have been asking me that. I made this up when I was just starting to get into collecting 45s and everything. I just did it just because it looked cool, and it looks fake here, but I guess on camera it looks kind of real. It's a mono reissue on the Starline Capitol label in the 80s, 8 days a week, and I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. Now we're getting some solo singles. Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey by Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney, and Too Many People. This is Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and the Wings, and 1985. This is My Sweet Lord by George Harrison from his first LP, and then double A side, Isn't It a Pity, also from his first LP. This is a Dark Horse label picture sleeve from George Harrison's Somewhere in England album. It's all these years ago, and with writings on the wall. Actually, in America, this only came out with the regular, paper sleeve from Dark Horse. It didn't come with this picture sleeve, but somehow I found this with Dark Horse paper that holds the LP in it. And I know, not the LP, the single on it. And I know it's not supposed to go together, but it's still nice to have. I think this is from another country, but while the single is from US. Now for my Beatles and my solo career albums. Now this is Please Please Me on a yellow and black Parlophone label. It's a 4th pressing, found out through Discogs.com. Sadly enough, I do not have the jacket to go with it, but I found this stuck inside this, a first pressing on mono of Beatles for Sale. The cover's not in great shape, but still, I got it with Please Please Me. Doesn't hurt. It's a pretty nice cover. These are my only two British LPs, and I can't really pull it out. I don't want to ruin anything because this is really fragile. It came on, one second, the original inner sleeve, which is really neat. And this is also on this black and yellow label. Powerful. Now, first Beatles LP in America. This is a mono pressing of Introducing the Beatles. Has the color band label, kind of like Capitol on VJ Records. It's not a fake, I know that. Usually more stereos are fake. It's Please Please Me and Ask Me Why. It doesn't have the other two songs that were supposed to be on there, Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You. That's a more rare kind. But I'd show you the LP, but my hands are kind of tight. But the Beatles is above the spindle hole. This is Meet the Beatles. This is a reissue. It's a 1978 Purple Label reissue, as you can tell with Gold Record Club, and this would be more of a green color, or tanny green. Still a good LP to own. This is the Beatles' second album, still in shrink, but it's been open, of course. It's on the Apple label, 70s reissue. This is the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night. This is on United Artists. This is a reissue on the Sunrise label. This is the Beatles Story. This is a reissue on the Apple label. LPs are in pretty good shape. The cover is not that good of a shape. It has split on both tops, but still a nice thing to have, even though it's kind of interesting. You know, it's everything somebody else knows about the Beatles, and just added there for the collection. Next is an original copy of Something New by the Beatles on Capitol. It's a mono copy. Has the original sleeve with it too. It's a green sleeve. This is an 80s printing of Beatles 65. It's on the Rainbow label, but with writing in the rainbow instead of outside of the label like originals. So nice little album to have. This is the early Beatles. This is an original copy on the Capitol Rainbow label. It's in mono. This is Beatles 6. This is a reissue on the Capitol 78 Purple label. It's in stereo. This is the Beatles Help. This is on the original Capitol color band label. I like this LP because it has a lot of good songs, but they could have taken out the instrumentals. It just doesn't mix well with the rock songs on here that you really want to hear, and it kind of interrupts when we have to pick up the needle and get it put down somewhere else. And there's only really 6 songs on this LP, which is really kind of one side, which they should have split it up like they did the Yellow Submarine album, so you at least don't have to worry about skipping songs. This is thanks to Toaster Oven, my original copy of Rubber Soul, also with the inner sleeve, original inner sleeve, on the stereo. This is the Beatles Yesterday and Today. Nope, not even close to being a butcher cover. It's a 78 reissue. I actually think this was an import to the United Kingdom because on the sleeve here it says EMI made in Great Britain, but I don't know, this could have been just a sleeve that was found and put with the album because it didn't have it. I really don't know, but it's still nice to have. It's a good LP. Next is an original mono on Capitol, Revolver, and with this, which I have separately, is the Capitol 66 sound. Sounds great. The yellow inner sleeve. The LP itself is in a different inner sleeve, which I'm not going to pull that out because it takes too long. Let's put this over here. This is another stereo copy, a 78 Purple Label reissue of Revolver. This is an original Sgt. Pepper. Well, not really original. I looked it up with label variations, everything on Capitol. I think it's a 68 reissue. It's on the Rainbow Capitol label, but it depends on the words on the bottom in the black rim. These have more words in it. I forget what it says. And I think this is a 68 reissue from what I found. If you have any information on it, I would love to hear it. Please leave in the comments below. This also has the little cardboard cutout. Next is Magical Mystery Tour. This is on a 70s orange label, Capitol. Has the booklet and everything. This is one of my first Beatles LPs. All the pages in the book. This is Beatles' White Album. Nope, it is not an original, sadly enough. As you can see, it's not embossed here, it's just colored on, printed on. Still on Apple, on the Apple labels. It's a stereo, of course, because it's pretty hard to find anything else. It comes with the original poster, which I'm not going to pull everything out. And it also comes with the 4 pictures, which is somewhere deep in there. But take my word for it. Now this is an original Beatles Yellow Submarine. Now, this looks beat up to hell, because it was. The LP inside was in very, very good shape. The cover itself was ripped on almost all corners. I had to basically glue back together. It takes forever to get the LP out now, but it's cool to have a cover nonetheless. Of course, I like the A side of it because it has all the good songs on it, where the B side's all instrumental. This is Abbey Road. Sorry for the lighting, can't really fix that. This, I don't know if it's a reissue or not, but it does have Her Majesty on the back, which I know the first pressings didn't have that. And I don't know if it was on the label either, but it's on this label as well. But it's on the Apple label. And I read something into it. I could be wrong, so don't harass me over it. But that first printings came out on a cover just like this, after they figured out that Her Majesty wasn't put on the back on the cover. They decided to put out still first printings with the new cover, and I think this might be it. I don't know. Still, it's a good LP. It's in great shape. This is Beatles Hey Jude, and Beatles again known elsewhere, but this is not an original copy. This is Hey Jude. This is orange Capitol label in the 70s. This is Let It Be, an original, the orange label. Oh, the lighting is getting real poor in here. This here is the Beatles' Red Album, 1962 to 1966. This is on black vinyl. This is not on the Apple label, this is on Capitol. This is a reissue. This is the Beatles' Blue Album, 1967 to 1970. This is on the Apple label. This is from France. It has blue vinyl, and it's not like the clear see-through blue vinyl that you see on the Capitol releases of the colored vinyl. It is it's more of a solid. If I can pull this out here without ruining it. As you can see here, French. It's a good LP, of course. Now, it's time to get into our solo stuff. This is Paul McCartney's first album, called McCartney, on the Apple label, stereo, of course. Good starting LP, one of my favorites as a solo career. This is Paul McCartney's Ram. This is not on the Apple label, this is a reissue from the 80s on the Columbia Records label. Very good condition though. Next is an original Ben on the Run on the Apple label, but it's a custom Apple label with the pictures of Paul McCartney, Denny Lane, who used to be in the Moody Blues, and Linda McCartney. Also comes with Polaroid pictures poster. Excuse me, I'm kind of sick. This is Paul McCartney's London Town with wings. Let's see, Denny Lane, Linda McCartney, and Paul McCartney in London on Capitol Records, but it's a custom label. Now this is an original John Lennon Plastic Ono Band, his first LP, which is very dark, but nonetheless I really love this album, and I was so happy to find this, but I had to be careful. If you see this album with Yoko Ono laying in John Lennon's lap, it's her first LP, which I'm not a big Yoko Ono fan because I don't really like the way she sounds, but be careful of that. But of course, you know, Yoko Ono's has Yoko on the back and not John. It has the original inner sleeve with the words on it. It's on Apple label, gray Apple label. This is an original John Lennon Imagine. This is supposed to come with a poster and a postcard with John Lennon holding back pig's ears, imitating Paul McCartney holding back ram ears on his album Ram. But I do not have the postcard, but I do have the poster. It's on a custom Apple label with John Lennon on the label, and it has the original inner sleeve too as well. Why I like this album is because my second favorite band of all time, Badfinger, also helped. Tommy Evans and Joey Mullen, both from Badfinger, played on this album, as well as a whole bunch of other people. This is John Lennon Mind Games on an Apple label. This is John Lennon Double Fantasy, still in shrink, on the, I forgot what label it's on. Griffin Records. See up here, it was bought on November 20th, 1980. Next is Milk and Honey, John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And next is George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, an original. Has the poster, it's on the Apple label. Has all the original sleeves and everything. Another reason why I like this is because my second favorite band, Badfinger, played on it. Yes, I talk about Badfinger a lot. I really like them. If you haven't heard of them, or if you heard of them a little bit, go listen to some of their songs. The first #1 hit is Come and Get It, written by Paul McCartney, but they did really good on their own with Day After Day and such like that, which I'll leave for another time. But they're a part of the Beatles as well. All the names here. You can see Badfinger. And the poster's way down and back. And the last album I'm going to show you on this video is George Harrison's 33 1/3. This is a good album, came out in '76. He's wearing the bicentennial glasses for America. I really think he looks like Robert Plant there for a little bit. But this is also a good album. This is on his Dark Horse label. And that's it. That's all my Beatles stuff that I have to show you right now. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to have more, and I hope to update this once again later. Bye.